Berman versus Edmonds. Step forward.
Teacher Jennifer Berman is suing Andrea Edmonds for tutoring Andrea's son.
Miss Berman, you were tutoring Miss Edmonds' son in what courses?
Chemistry and algebra.
And his mother retained you when?
In October of 2017.
When did you start tutoring him?
Soon after she contacted me.
Date?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
It was October 17th.
And what was the financial arrangement you worked out with his mother?
She would pay me $50 per hour.
Is that the arrangement?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you started on October 17th, what's your name?
Benjamin Edmonds.
Did Benjamin come to your house or did you go to his house?
Neither. We met at a coffee shop up the street.
Is there any reason for that?
Convenience.
Whose convenience? It's more convenient for him to meet at his house.
Correct. I wasn't able to travel there, and due to my work and schedule, we agreed to meet at the coffee shop.
Okay.
Judge Andrea Edmonds owes for tutoring services for her son.
Now, when you agreed to meet at the coffee shop starting October 17th, did you discuss that with his mother?
Yes. She drove him.
Okay, so it required her getting into the car.
Correct.
So she had to bring him to the coffee shop. Now, did all of the tutoring sessions in October and November all take place at the coffee shop?
I believe towards the end of November, we started having hybrid. So we were meeting both at the coffee shop and online, but depending on Andrea's work schedule.
Because she had to drive him.
Correct.
When did you start meeting online totally?
The beginning of January.
Yeah.
And it's that period of time, all during the time of October, November, and December, when you would meet with Benjamin, you were paid your $50 an hour.
Correct.
It's the January bills that are at issue.
Not all of them. So we met hybrid part of January, the first half of January. So we were also meeting at the coffee shop at that time. So when we met at the coffee shop, she would pay me at that time.
Pay you at that time for your meetings in the coffee shop?
In addition to meeting online.
So she did in fact pay you online
Yes,
for the online payments in January?
for some of them.
More than one?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Edmonds, you had to have known you were paying for some online payments because you weren't driving him and he can't drive.
Yes.
So you knew that at least some of the tutorial sessions were being conducted online.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What months are we here in court today about?
January, the second half. We started meeting on January 18th to study for his midterm, and our last day meeting together for the midterm was on January 24th. However, after his midterm, after he failed his midterm,
Okay.
we met for an additional session in January.
After the midterm?
After the midterm.
Did you meet online or in
Yes,
person?
online.
So starting on the 18th, you never met in person?
Correct.
You only met online?
Correct.
Why?
Because of Andrea's work schedule, she was not able to drive him to Starbucks to meet me.
And you discussed that with her?
Correct.
And you acknowledge that part of the sessions with Benjamin were done online, and you acquiesced to those being done online because you paid her in December and January. It was the period of time after mid-January when she was not paid because you were not meeting in person, and after Benjamin failed both of his midterms, that you didn't pay her.
Judge Judy. Teacher Jennifer Berman says Andrea Edmonds owes for tutoring services for her son.
Now, it was the period of time after mid-January, after Benjamin failed both of his midterms, that you didn't pay her.
It was 8 sessions in 1 week to prepare for the midterm.
It was
that
8
were,
sessions, Your Honor.
that were not paid. And I had...
Just a second. Well,
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Edmonds, let me ask you this question.
Yes, ma'am.
You say I didn't pay because she was tutoring him online, but you knew about the online.
After-
No,
yes.
not after the fact, before the fact. You knew about online because sometimes you couldn't bring him, and you paid her when she did tutor him online in November or December, part of January. You did in fact pay her for those hours she spent with Benjamin, and I'm sure that you conferred with Benjamin and said, did you in fact spend this time with Miss Berman online? And you paid her for the online payment. So it's not as if you didn't know about them. You knew about them. So this is my question to you. If he had passed the midterms, would you have paid her?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, you owe her $450 because that's the amount of time she spent with him. Listen, if he had passed the midterms, you would have paid her because it would have been, in your mind, successful. Benjamin, listen to me.
No.
I didn't pass. Oh, yes.
I'm sorry.
Benjamin, listen to me. I didn't pass chemistry. And I had my chemistry teacher as my tutor. And I became a relatively successful person. If it's not your thing, I'm sure you have certain things that are your thing. I squeaked by algebra. I don't know how. Sometimes the best efforts, if your brain doesn't work in that way, because you look like a nice boy, I'm sure you do okay in certain subjects in school. What subjects? Stand next to your mother.
I usually do well in English.
Okay.
Most of the time I do well in history.
You're engineering.
Yeah, and engineering.
You say you do okay. You get C's or better.
I usually get C's.
But you pass.
Idiot.
Okay. Do you apply yourself in those subjects?
When I can, yes. Yeah. I am going to admit that I don't always, but however, I did apply myself when I was being tutored by Jen.
You did. You tried.
I tried.
You tried. Your brain doesn't work that way. And it doesn't mean that you can't be a most successful human being and a most successful person. Now, Officer Byrd, I don't know about you in chemistry and algebra.
I did well.
Did you?
Oh,
No,
yes.
Did you?
Oh,
Did you?
yes.
See, his brain works that way. He has that kind of brain. I don't know what you do with chemistry or algebra.
Play Jeopardy.
I don't know what you do with it. You help me with math every once in a while. You have to pay the bill, Miss Edmonds, $450. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
If you would hire somebody to cut your lawn and your lawn looks horrible,
When you have a personal trainer at a gym and you meet with a trainer once or twice a week,
you wouldn't pay the bill.
and the trainer gives you exercises to do in between sessions, and the trainer gives you an exercise program,
And I don't believe that we're responsible.
and you don't follow them, then you're not going to get the results you want. And that's exactly what happened in this session.
For a week of cramming sessions where the result was an F,
Did not come prepared. He had every excuse in the book. He had to go to the bathroom. His computer was upgrading.
I just don't feel that it was
This woman is a
our
moron.
responsibility whatsoever.
He did not prepare ahead of time, so the preparation is really on his end.